for deriving energy, and every system in our body, it require energy. Every cell require energy. So what happens that when there is a blockage in the respiration pathway of the pathogen, then there is least energy is released. Okay, the least energy is released, then what happens that gradually the pathogen, its population, it starts decreasing. Okay, but when we come to in case of that is viruses, for viral infections, you might be knowing that in market we have very limited number of antiviral drugs. In fact, it is predicted that it is very difficult to prepare antiviral drugs. Why? Just a moment before I told you that these medicines, their main purpose is to go inside our body, and wherever pathogen is present in our body, they go and block their biochemical pathways. But as we all know that viruses, they have very limited number of biochemical pathways of their own. Yes, because viruses, they enter our body and they make use of our body's metabolic machinery. तो वो हमारी बॉडी के बायोकेमिकल पाथवेज को यूज करते हैं अपनी डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज को परफॉर्म करने के लिए. इट मीन्स if we are going to take any particular drug which we have just manufactured for killing a particular virus, then what will happen? That drug will block the biochemical pathways of our own cells, and we will start facing some other problem, because these viruses, they are actually they have taken hold of our cell, they are using our metabolic machinery. तो जब हम ऐसी ड्रग्स को कंज्यूम करते हैं, तो जो ड्रग्स है वो हमारी ही सेल्स के बायोकेमिकल पाथवेज को ब्लॉक कर देंगी, and again we will have some new problems or new health issues. That's why it is very difficult for making antiviral drugs, because viruses, they have very few number of biochemical pathways of their own. It means scientists or doctors, they have very few number of target sites to aim at. And another cases for that is retroviruses. There are certain special cases of viruses which change their structure after every multiplication. So what happens that scientists, they have just found out, they have studied the structure of a virus, and meanwhile till the drugs get ready, it get manufactured, इसको manufacturing complete होता है, तब तक उसका next multiplication stage complete हो जाता है virus का, उसका structure change हो जाता है. That's also one of the major issue with the synthesis of antiviral drugs. So why I'm emphasizing again and again? Because here we get a question in examination, and the question comes that explain why it is difficult to make antiviral drugs as compared to antibacterial drugs. So here what you have to do while presenting your answer, that first you have to write down the explanation regarding antibacterial drugs. That when we consume antibacterial drugs, they directly go and they block only the biochemical pathways of the pathogen, that is bacteria. They don't affect our body's biochemical pathway. But in case of viruses, since viruses, they use metabolic machinery of our body, so when we consume antiviral drugs, then what happens? It will go and block the biochemical pathways of our own body. In that way, you have to explain it. But still, even that is so many difficulties we are facing, but still in today's medical world, we have some successful antiviral drugs. So for example, there are successful drugs which keep and control HIV infection up to a limit. Okay. So that is regarding principles of treatment. So in principles of treatment, I told you two approaches. The first approach is symptom directed, and second approach is pathogen directed. In symptom directed, we work upon the symptoms of the disease, we reduce their effect, and in pathogen directed, we remove the pathogen from our body because it is the primary cause of the disease. Okay. So now here, that is the principles of treatment we have discussed, but it is always said that Prevention is better than cure. Means we should not wait that okay, when we will fall sick, then we will think about these two approaches. We are ready with the medicines and then we will see the pathogen. No, it is always suggested that we should stop, we should prevent disease from occurring. We should prevent, and that we say that prevention is better than cure. And here comes another most important topic from this chapter, that is prevention is better than cure. So till now you have only heard this saying, but today we will learn that what is the scientific logic behind this saying, well famous saying. Okay, that is, so in exam you get a question and directly for 3 to 5 marks, that is explain why prevention is better than cure in case of diseases. आपको सीधे स्टेटमेंट मिल जाएगा और आपको उसको एक्सप्लेन करना है कि ऐसा क्यों कहा जाता है that prevention is better than cure. So for that it has got certain reasons. First one is that during any disease, our certain body organs are infected and they become damaged. Yes. Sometimes what happens that the infection of a particular disease becomes so severe that the concerned body organ or the body part is damaged beyond repair. Yes, उसमें इतना ज़्यादा इतने डिग्री का डैमेज हो जाएगा कि आप उसको completely recover नहीं कर सकते. So sometimes this infection is very fatal. For example, if a person is suffering from a severe infection of lungs and is not taking proper treatment on time, then may be possibility that a part of his or her lungs may become damaged for permanent. Okay. So first reason to follow the saying that prevention is better than cure, that during an infectious diseases or during any disease, one or more organs of our body may become damaged to such an extent that they cannot be completely recovered. Okay. Second one is that during the course of treatment, a person has to bedridden. So it is not like that if you are suffering or if we are suffering from a particular disease, right? So we are suffering from a particular disease, okay, and we are taking medicines. So let's keep on taking medicines, and side by side we will also keep on doing our day-to-day life activities and all daily routine works. No, as I told you earlier, that even along with taking medicines, we have to take bed rest. Why? Because during the time of treatment, our body needs to conserve lot of energy. And this conserved energy our body uses for healing process. Means because of disease, whatever damage is being caused to internal tissues and cells, for their healing, yes, again our body require energy. So even if we are taking treatment when we are sick, then still along with taking treatment, we have to be bedridden. And once we are bedridden, then for example, you cannot come to school, you cannot go to garden for playing, okay, you cannot go to your friend's house. So again, all your day-to-day life activities will be just blocked. Okay, that is the second one. And third one is, that is the most important, that during the course of treatment, the person who is sick or who is suffering from a particular infectious disease, that person or individual will act as a source of infection. Means it can make other individuals also sick. And that's for we are having a very good and live example of COVID-19 in front of our eyes. That's why that whenever we just come to know that the concerned person is COVID positive, what we do? We just isolate the person for 13 to 14 days. Because if we allow that person to move freely in outer world, in market or in offices, then what will happen? That person himself or herself is acting as a source of infection. and whosoever will come in contact with that particular person will also become infected. So at the time, during the time of treatment, the person will act as a source of infection, and then there will be a danger that the person may spread the infection in the community or the society in which he or she is living. So students, these are the three reasons for which we say that prevention is better than cure, and question is very important. Many times it is repeated in your examination. So just ensure that if question comes for 2 to 3 marks, you have to mention all the 3 points. That because of disease, some parts may become damaged permanently, which cannot be recovered. During the course of treatment, one has to be bedridden, so he or she cannot perform day-to-day life activities. And third one, during the course of treatment, the person himself will act as a source of infection, right? Now let's see about the ways of prevention. Now we know that कारण विजय वर्गीय, you are writing, आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Is it same for everyone?
No, ma'am.
It's all clear?
audible.
आ रही है.
Okay.
किसी की आवाज आ रही है क्या?
हाँ, नहीं clear, ma'am.
It's clear, ma'am.
To you?
Ma'am, voice is coming.
Okay, voice is coming. It means though, so Aryan, problem is from your side, beta. Just check your net connection. Okay. So that is why we should prevent infectious diseases from occurring. Now let's see what are the ways of prevention. How can we prevent infectious diseases? So ways of prevention. So here ways of prevention are divided into 2 categories. So one is called general ways of prevention and another is known as the specific way of prevention, right? So first one is general ways of prevention, second one is specific way of prevention. Now general ways of prevention, their basic principle is that they prevent the exposure to the pathogen. Yes. So in general ways which we use for preventing a particular infectious disease, the basic principle behind these general ways of prevention is that all these ways, they work in a direction which prevent the exposure of individuals to the pathogens. Means when there is no exposure or when there is no contact between the individual and the pathogen, then automatically the occurrence of the disease will be reduced. Okay. So if you remember students, I told you in some of the previous classes regarding the types of diseases with respect to the means by which they are spreading in the community. For example, I told you about airborne diseases. I told you about waterborne diseases. We discussed about vector-borne diseases. I hope you remember. Okay. So all these here, okay, so Jai is asking, ma'am, what is meaning of exposure? Exposure means हमें पैथोजन और जो ऑर्गेनिज्म है उसके बीच में जो कांटेक्ट होना है, मींस पैथोजन इज एबल टू गेट द एंट्री इनटू द बॉडी ऑफ द पर्सन, दैट वी हैव टू रिड्यूस और मिनिमाइज, राइट? और वो तब होगा जब हम पैथोजन की पॉपुलेशन को कंट्रोल करेंगे, हम उसको ऐसे सिचुएशंस और कंडीशंस नहीं देंगे जिसमें वो फ्लरिश करे, जिसमें वो रिप्रोडक्शन करे. ओके, so in that is general ways, for example, for airborne diseases, the ways of prevention is, that is, proper ventilated spaces should be ensured. Now that is the infectious diseases for which the infection spreads through air. Then for that we should have proper ventilated spaces, and yes, Aditya, you're also correct that we can wear mask right now, which we people are doing for COVID-19. So for example, that is if we are suffering from cold and cough, then we should try to stay in such a room which is having proper number of windows, ventilators, and we should try to go that is away from the crowded places. Okay. तो हमें अगर एयरबॉर्न डिजीज के ऑक्यूरेंस को कम करना है तो हमें इंश्योर करना है कि लोग इंडिविजुअल जहां भी रहते हैं उनकी जो रेजिडेंशियल प्लेसेस हैं वो प्रॉपरली वेंटिलेटेड होनी चाहिए. बिकॉज of proper ventilation, what will happen? Whatever minute droplets are circulating in that particular room, they will be eliminated. It will be left outside into the fresh air. Okay. Second, that is for waterborne disease. So waterborne disease, that is whose infection is spread by consuming contaminated food and water. So for such, the way of prevention is to have provision for clean and safe drinking water. Clean and safe drinking water. So when we are just ensuring that the water which we are going to consume is totally clean and safe. Safe means it is not having any kind of pathogen. Then what will happen? There will be least chances that any pathogen can enter in our body by means of this water. So to have provisions for clean and safe drinking water is another general way of prevention for waterborne diseases, right? Then for vector-borne diseases, we have to ensure clean surroundings, clean environment. We have to maintain hygiene and sanitation in our surroundings. We all are very keen in maintaining hygiene and sanitation inside our own houses, but we have to be enough responsible that we should also ensure that is sanitation and hygiene in our surroundings. Okay. Say for example, if we are having heap of garbage nearby our surroundings or in our nearby our houses, then we should call municipal corporation. We should insist them, please get this area cleared out of this waste, dump it in proper place, and timely we should keep on spraying the pesticide and insecticide so that whatever mosquitoes and flies which keep on breeding and blooming there over the heap of waste, they are clean. Okay. So what is this going on? Visual for what you're writing to bhi nahi karta hai. It's a class going on and we're supposed to focus on the topic. I hope you're getting my point. Okay. And so that for everyone, please try to avoid any kind of mutual conversation here. Yes. So here we have to ensure clean environment. So clean environment means proper disposal of the garbage in the dustbin. Then we have to regularly spray insecticides in our surroundings. You might have observed in your surroundings, in your colony itself, that on regular timely basis, we go for fogging. So what is fogging? That we spray down the pesticide, insecticide to kill off the mosquitoes and the flies. So we are basically what we are doing in first case, by properly dumping the garbage in the dustbin, we are reducing the open breeding sites for these vectors. And second case, when you are doing fogging with insecticide, what we are doing? We are controlling, we are killing these, that is vectors which have already, that is leaving. Okay. So sometime in exam, students, question comes directly for 1 to 2 mark, that write one general way of preventing, airborne diseases, waterborne diseases, or vector-borne diseases. Or question can be directly, how will you prevent vector-borne diseases? How will you prevent airborne diseases? Okay. So here I have told you that is key points, but if you have any other general point in your mind, that you can also add up there. Okay. And above to all that, we know that our body has got a natural power to fight off infections, and that natural power we call it as the immunity. But we know that immunity, like any other system of our body, also need nourishment. It also needs nutrients to work properly. It means so that our immunity always remain stronger, it can work with great vigor. We have to ensure that we are properly healthy. And for that, what we need to have, that we should take a balanced diet. Okay. So whatever question comes regarding airborne disease, vector-borne disease, or any other way of prevention, you can always add one point to all of them, that is to have proper nourishment, to take balanced diet. Because even by controlling or moving on with all these preventive measures, if anyhow pathogen gain entry inside our body, and if our immunity is strong, then what will happen? That immunity will not allow this pathogen to cause disease. And before causing disease only, pathogen will be killed off by the immunity system or immunity power. Okay. तो कोई भी आपका क्वेश्चन आता है किसी भी टाइप ऑफ डिजीज के लिए, जनरल प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स लिखने के लिए, तो आप उसमें बैलेंस्ड डाइट और टू हैव प्रॉपर नरिश्ड फूड दैट यू कैन ऐड. तो एक सेकंड पॉइंट आपका बन जाएगा उस पर्टिकुलर आंसर में, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, so that we were talking about the general way of preventing disease. Now next one is, that is a specific way of prevention of diseases. A specific way, and that specific way of prevention, it is what we call it as vaccination. And yes, it is not a very new term for you people. You have already discussed it in 8th standard, chapter number 2, microorganisms, friend and foe. I hope you still remember. Okay, so there you have already learned what is vaccination and how does it work, that you all know in pretty detail. Okay, so vaccination means inoculation of vaccine in our body. So how to define vaccination? Inoculation means to insert or to give vaccine inside our body. So there are two ways of inoculating vaccine, either that is through your blood vessels, through blood stream, okay, through injections, or for some diseases we take vaccines orally. Orally means we take through our mouth. For example, oral, that is oral polio vaccine for the small kids, because generally we don't give them directly injections. हम क्या करते हैं, vaccines को ऐसा बनाते हैं so that we can consume it through our digestive tract. Okay, so there are two ways of, that is inoculation of a vaccine. So one is, that is through injection, and second one is orally, right? So inoculation of vaccine is called vaccination. Now question comes, what is vaccine? What is vaccine? What is vaccine? What do you mean by vaccine? Okay, so Hardik is telling dead or weakened pathogen. So Vishul is also writing dead or weakened pathogen. Shubhra is writing antigen. Vaccines generally don't contain antigen actually. Okay, so vaccine, as you have learned in 8th standard, that it is a solution which contain pathogen either in dead form or in weakened state. Means when we take these vaccine inside our body, then what we are doing actually, we are making these pathogens to get entry inside our body in the form of vaccine. But these pathogens are present in such a state that they cannot cause any disease inside our body. But what they will do? They will trigger on our immune system. They will activate our immune system, which will make antibodies against these pathogens, and it will fight off the infection, right? Okay, are you getting my point? So why we are calling this vaccination specific way? Because we have got specific vaccines for specific diseases. Okay, so since we are having typical or particular one for particular disease, so called specific way. Okay, so how vaccination work? So when vaccination is occurring, then what happens? Pathogen enters our body. Then what it do? It activate our immune system. Then this immune system, what it will do? It will prepare antibodies. It will prepare antibodies, and finally it will kill off the pathogen. Okay, so what happens, that is we are taking vaccine in advance, means a dead pathogen is present inside our body. Now in further future, whenever that same pathogen or a very close relative of its enter in our body, then what happens? Our immune system is already ready in advance. नॉर्मली क्या होता है, अगर आपने वैक्सीनेशन नहीं लिया तो क्या होता है, आपकी बॉडी में पैथोजन एंट्री करेगा, फिर आपकी जो बॉडी का इम्यून सिस्टम है उसको आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, फिर वो उसके अगेंस्ट में एंटीबॉडीज प्रिपेयर करेगा, और कुछ केसेस में क्या होता है कि सारे प्रोसेस में इतना टाइम लग जाता है कि जो पैथोजन है वो ऑलरेडी डिजीज कॉज कर चुका होता है. So this vaccination is a method because of which our body is prepared in advance to face off the pathogen. And our immune system has got one interesting property, that once it counter with one particular pathogen, it will remember it for its lifetime. हमारा जो immune system है वो एक बार एक पर्टिकुलर पैथोजन से काउंटर उसका हो जाता है, एनकाउंटर उसको देख लेता है, तो उसको हमेशा लाइफ टाइम के लिए याद रखता है. तो अगर लाइफ में कभी दोबारा पैथोजन एंटर करेगा तो हमारी बॉडी में ऑलरेडी उस पैथोजन के लिए एंटीबॉडीज रेडी होती है. ओके ओके, सो नीलम इज आस्किंग क्वेश्चन, व्हाई वी फील और हैव फीवर आफ्टर वैक्सीनेशन. वेरी गुड. नाउ वैक्सीनेशन, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग नीलम, वी आर टेकिंग पैथोजेंस इनसाइड अवर बॉडी, and that pathogen is identified by our immune system. Our immune system simply knows that a pathogen has entered in our body, but it is not knowing that it is dead or weakened. उसको बस इतना पता है कि उसकी बॉडी में, ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी में पैथोजन एंटर कर गया, तो वो अपने नॉर्मल जो उसके फंक्शन है वो शुरू कर देता है. एज आई टोल्ड यू अर्लियर that it will start increasing the temperature of our body so that pathogen cannot multiply quickly to increase its population, right? In fact, doctors, they ensure that after vaccination the particular concerned person should have fever, because once we are having fever, then it is clear that our immune system has identified that pathogen and vaccination is successful. Because there are certain cases that when even after vaccination, to small kids I'm talking about, when the parents come and tell that there is no fever, they wait for 2 to 3 days, and when there is no fever that is occurring, then they again go back to doctor and say there was no fever. Then again revaccination is done, and once the fever is coming, then it is only considered as successful in certain cases, not in every cases, but generally almost सारी वैक्सीन्स में आपका हल्का सा फीवर जरूर आता है, क्योंकि जो इम्यूनिटी है वो उस पैथोजन को आइडेंटिफाई करती है, अपने नॉर्मल प्रोसीजर्स को शुरू कर देती है. ओके, यस, सो दैट्स ऑल अबाउट द चैप्टर 13, व्हाई डू वी फॉल इल. ओके, एंड सो स्टूडेंट्स, यू रीड दिस मच पोर्शन फ्रॉम योर एनसीईआरटी बुक, एंड रिगार्डिंग योर मिड टर्म ब्रेक, that is vacation homework, you have to write the experiment in biology in your practical record. आपको जो एक पहला हमने वीडियो लिंक भेजा था कि आपने वीडियो लिंक को देखा, फिर अपना प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड कंप्लीट किया. अभी आपका मिड टर्म ब्रेक है, तो आपको वो प्रैक्टिकल का जो भी एम है गूगल क्लासरूम में मिल जाएगा. तो आपको क्या करना है, उस एम को फाइंड आउट करके लैब मैनुअल से शॉर्ट कॉम्पैक्ट वे में प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड में उसको कंप्लीट करना है. ओके, एंड दैट इज Yes, Hardik, I know that you have submitted in old Google Classroom. Don't worry, because we teachers are having both of them, old and new Google Classroom. We are maintaining records from both of them. Okay. तो आपको क्या करना है, दिस सेकेंड एक्सपेरिमेंट फ्रॉम बायोलॉजी, इट इज फ्रॉम दैट इज टिश्यू चैप्टर रिगार्डिंग पैरेन्काइमा, कोलेनकाइमा, स्क्लेरेन्काइमा, टाइप ऑफ मसल सेल्स एटसेट्रा. तो आप लैब मैनुअल में जाएंगे तो उसमें ये एक्सपेरिमेंट आपको निकालना है और अपने प्रैक्टिकल रिकॉर्ड में इसका रिटन वर्क कंप्लीट करना है विद लेबल्ड डायग्राम, राइट? And after reopening of the school, we will just share the link with you people for the video which is being made from society, so that you can see how this particular experiment can be performed. So that is your first one. And one other one is that I will create one assignment from chapter Why Do We Fall Ill? With Neelam, yes, only experiment you have to write down. तो उसमें बेटा जो भी हेडिंग्स हैं आपको पता है, एम, मटेरियल रिक्वायर्ड, प्रोसीजर, थ्योरी, वो कंप्लीट लिखना है. लेकिन आपको जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था, अपने अकॉर्डिंग आप उसको शॉर्ट कर सकते हैं. ऐसा नहीं कि पूरी की पूरी बुक कॉपी करनी है, अपने अकॉर्डिंग उसको शॉर्ट कर दीजिए सो दैट इट कैन गेट फिनिश्ड इन 2-3 पेजेस. ओके, ज्यादा उसको कंप्लीट कॉपी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, एंड आई विल गिव वन असाइनमेंट फ्रॉम दिस चैप्टर नंबर 13, क्योंकि अभी तक आपको मैंने इसमें से कोई भी असाइनमेंट नहीं दिया है, ऑल्दो वी हैव फिनिश्ड द चैप्टर टुडे. ओके, सो रीड द चैप्टर थॉरोली. एनी डाउट, feel free to drop a line on my WhatsApp number. I'll clear your doubts. And this is the last class before a midterm break. So we all are heading towards, that is, Diwali vacation. So happy Diwali, and please do have safe Diwali. And try not to burst crackers because it is not good for our environment. And being a science student, it becomes a moral responsibility of you people. Okay, because we know the scientific logic behind air pollution and its ill effects. Okay, so take care, enjoy your vacation, but also have bit time for your studies even. Okay, so bye, happy Diwali. May God bless you.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, I got all your wishes. Thank you so much.